Hi Pisces, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of March. This is your birthday season, and there are a few planets transiting in your sign as we begin the month, so I want to wish you a very happy birthday. Venus is transiting in your sign until March 21st, making you extra magnetic and glamorous and attractive to others. The sun is in your sign until March 20th, and Neptune is in your sign for a while longer. It's been there for several years, and that's the ruler of your sign. So there's a lot of Pisces action as we begin the month. We also are still very much in this new energy of the real age of Aquarius. Saturn and Jupiter both met up on the winter solstice at the very first degree of Aquarius in your house of imagination and the subconscious mind. Saturn will be transiting there until March 7th of 2023 when it enters your sign. And this is a time for you the next couple of years of weeding out things that maybe you've been holding on to, whether it's emotionally or mentally, maybe old memories that haunt you in some way. We all have things like that to some extent. Things that are no longer serving you, that you want to complete in your life, because you do want to prepare for when Saturn enters your sign in March of 2023. Jupiter, the grand benefic, also entered Aquarius on December 19th of last year, and it's going to be transiting there on and off until December 29th of this year. This is a very creative cycle for you, very magnetic. Jupiter rules Pisces in ancient astrology, and it rules the 12th house. And actually, Jupiter is going to briefly enter your sign from May 13th until July 29th and enter your house of new beginnings and self. Very exciting. So you get a few months and you get a preview of Jupiter in your sign, which will happen again on December 29th and will be in Pisces in 2022. So that's a lot to think about. So as we begin the month of March, Mars enters the sign of Gemini, where it'll be transiting until April 24th. And this is in your house of home and family and emotional foundation. This could mean that you're doing a lot of work at home. Maybe you're fixing things up. If you have your own business, you'll be very busy. This is a lot of focus for you. On March 4th, we have really nice energy. Mercury is now direct. It's been in the sign of Aquarius since January 8th, and it'll be there until March 15th. And it meets up with Jupiter, the luckiest planet, at 17 degrees of Aquarius. And this falls in your house of imagination. This is really good energy for manifesting anything you want to, for doing spiritual work, for targeting that date for interviews or marketing campaigns or dates or communication of all forms, and definitely doing manifesting work. That's very lucky energy. On the 10th of March, the sun meets up with Neptune in your sign in the house of self. And that might be a day that you need to get extra rest because Neptune can deplete your energy. It's very good for doing manifesting energy because Neptune does rule the imagination, but recharging. And on that date, the moon in Aquarius in your house of the subconscious mind meets up with Jupiter at 12:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's excellent for manifesting. Get rest and manifest. On the 13th of March, we have a beautiful new moon in your sign, your annual new moon, that takes place at 5:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 23 degrees and 4 minutes of Pisces. This is in your house of self and new beginnings, and it's very magical energy. Again, Pisces rules the imagination. And Venus is still exalted in your sign, very magical. Later in that day at 11:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Venus meets up with Neptune. That can be very sensitive energy, but it's also very creative, very romantic. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, and this is in your first house of self. So this is a good time for meeting people if you're single in general, with Venus transiting in your sign, and that's a beautiful new moon. Definitely do the law of abundance, set intentions, and manifest. On the on the 15th of March, Mercury enters your sign, and it'll be there until April 3rd. More socializing, more interacting with others. On the 17th of March, we have a really nice energy. Mars, which is transiting in Gemini, forms what's known as a sextile to Chiron in Aries. And this could be helpful for finding your value. This could be good for financial opportunities and good for doing healing work. On the 18th of March, we have really beautiful energy around love and money. Venus is still exalted in your sign, and it forms what's known as a sextile to Pluto, the planet of passion and transformation. And that's really romantic, really good for financial opportunities, great for love and money, and really nice energy. So definitely target that date. On the 20th of March, we have the spring equinox, and this takes place at 5:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's when the sun enters the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And this is when the sun is exactly above the equator, and it's equal day and equal night. And this is a time of examining what the next few months have in store for you. And for all of us, it's a time, it's the first day of the astrological new year, and it's a time of initiating new beginnings. And for you, this occurs in the house of money and income. And the sun will be transiting there until April 19th. So focusing on your finances. And on the following date, on March 21st, Venus enters the sign of Aries, and it'll transit there until April 14th. And this is also in your house of money and income and focusing on your finances. On March 23rd, we have Mercury in your sign squaring Mars and Gemini, and there could be domestic issues, maybe there's a little bit of fighting. Use that energy to get things done. And then we have a very romantic and beautiful aspect on the 25th of March or the 26th, depending on where you live. Venus meets up with the sun at 5 degrees of Aries, and this occurs at 11:58 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on March 25th, and at 2:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 26th. And that's a beautiful energy around romance and love and value and creativity. And this falls in your house of income. So manifest with that energy and set intentions and just really good opportunities for financial prospects. And on the 28th of March, we have a full moon that takes place at 2:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 8 degrees and 18 minutes of Virgo. And this falls in your house of relationships. That could be a little bit more difficult around relationships. It's an emotional full moon because Venus is meeting up with Chiron, the wounded healer, that day in Aries, and that could be vulnerability around love. This full moon also triggers where the lunar eclipse occurred on November 30th at 8 degrees and 38 minutes of Gemini. So realistically, that's a sensitive full moon for all. And on the following day, on the 29th, the sun meets up with Chiron, the wounded healer, more sensitive energy. But on the 30th of March, Venus in Aries forms a sextile to Saturn in Aquarius, and that can be helpful for financial opportunities for you and feeling a little bit more encouraged. And on the following day, on the 31st, the Sun in Aries forms a helpful aspect to Saturn as well, bringing more structure and stability. This is your birthday month. You've got Venus in your sign. You've got a lot to work with, and I wish you a lot of luck, Pisces. Thank you very much. Take care.